You wake up. For about 4 seconds, you know exactly where you were. There was a hallway, someone you haven't seen in years, a staircase that didn't make sense but felt completely normal. You were inside something. You reach for it. It's gone. Not faded. Gone. Like a page that was never written on. You lie there trying to grab the edge of it, and the harder you pull, the faster it dissolves. By the time you've checked your phone, there is nothing left but a feeling that you were somewhere with someone doing something that mattered. You just lost a life. You lose one almost every night. You spend roughly 2 hours every night in REM sleep. Vivid, full color, full narrative dreaming. Across an average lifespan, that's about 6 straight years of lived experience. 6 years of something. Almost none of it survives the walk to the bathroom. This is not a flaw. Your brain is not failing to remember your dreams. Your brain is succeeding at deleting them. Chapter 1. The chemical that refuses to save. When you make a memory while you're awake, there's a chemical your brain leans on heavily. It's called norepinephrine. It's the same chemical that floods you when you're alert, focused, or scared. And one of its quieter jobs is helping the hippocampus write things down. It's the ink. In 1953, Eugene Aserinsky and Nathaniel Kleitman discovered that during certain stages of sleep, the eyes move rapidly under closed lids. They named it REM sleep. Decades of work later, we know what's happening underneath. During REM, norepinephrine drops to nearly 0, the lowest it gets all day, the lowest it gets all month. So your brain in REM is doing something almost paradoxical. It is generating an experience as vivid as waking life, sights, sounds, emotions, full storylines, while running on the one chemical setting that makes that experience nearly impossible to save. It is writing in disappearing ink, on purpose. Chapter 2. A hippocampus on half power. Here's the second piece. Your hippocampus is the part of your brain that stitches the moments of your day into a timeline you can walk back through. It's how you know what you did Tuesday, in what order, with whom. In 1977, 2 Harvard researchers, Alan Hobson and Robert McCarley, published the activation synthesis hypothesis. The idea was almost insulting at the time, that dreams are the cortex trying to make sense of random signals firing up from the brainstem during REM. The story you remember as a dream is your waking-style mind trying to write a coherent narrative around noise. What we've added since is darker. While the visual cortex is louder in REM than when you're awake, the hippocampus and parts of the prefrontal cortex are quieter. The region that records sequence is on half power. The region that fact-checks reality has stepped out of the room. That's why dreams feel real and don't make sense. You're inside a story being written by the part of you that hallucinates, edited by no one, and filed by a librarian who isn't there. When you wake up and try to remember, you're asking a hippocampus that wasn't on the clock to produce the receipts. It has nothing to give you. Chapter 3. The life you're not allowed to keep. So why? Why would evolution build a brain that spends a third of its life generating experiences it refuses to save? We don't fully know, but there are clues. A 2001 paper in Science by Robert Stickgold and colleagues showed that sleep, including REM, is when your brain consolidates the things you learned that day. It strengthens the patterns that matter. It loosens the ones that don't. The current best guess is that dreams are part of how your brain practices being you. It runs simulations. It recombines fragments of your day with fragments from years ago. It rehearses fear, grief, longing, problem-solving in a private theater where nothing you do has consequences. If you remembered all of it, you'd wake up confused about which life was real. You'd carry around the emotional weight of 1,000 things that never happened. So your brain does something almost merciful. It lets you live the dream, and then it takes the dream away. A 2003 study by Michael Schredl found that the people who remember their dreams most are the ones who wake up slowly, lie still, and don't reach for anything, phone, partner, alarm, for the first few minutes. The dream is there, briefly, in a chemical window that closes the second you start being a person again. Most of us close it before we're fully awake, on purpose, without knowing. There is another life you have already lived. You walked through it last night. You spoke to people in it. You felt things in it that you would feel about real things. Because to your brain, in that moment, they were real. And then your alarm went off and you became you again. And a whole world ended quietly while you brushed your teeth. You were not bad at remembering your dreams. You are exactly as good at remembering them as your brain wants you to be. Some part of you keeps choosing every morning to come back here. Maybe that's the kindest thing it does for you. If you want one of these every Sunday, small, slow, no noise, I'll keep showing up on your feed every week. I'm Kyurio. Sleep well.